that's arrived here. There's 5 boats here all the way from the deep south. Scott Gooman from Balclutha as well. They're in a stinger, 8 1/4. And I tell you what, I know this boat well, ex-Taranaki man, Buttercup, beautifully done. Love the way he took that line through there. It's like he's been racing for 2 years. So this is looking good. No lift at all of the throttle. A little bit down to the hairpin. Smoothly out of there. So, ugly exit, that sort of big gape. Just got on the gas a bit early. You've got to load that jet unit up. He'll work on that as he goes. At any rate, still looking good. Coming around for the split and not looking too bad at all from Andrew. 33.3. A little bit down on where he wanted, but it really cost him coming out of the hairpin, but still working on the gas, not lifting it. I'm liking his lines. The boat's set up good, so it's all about smooth as fast. Clearly not a problem with the rotation. Again, a couple of bites down the back, but it's all looking like, yeah, we got a clap here, so he is through 52.796. So a little bit to work on there, but I tell you what, for a team that is real green and new out here, all the way from the deep south, that was a pretty good effort. That hairpin is really one you want to master. That cost him a good second getting out of there, and there's a couple of corners he double took. But hey, as they say, 5 qualifiers, plenty to work on. Richard Curry, Girl Talk is the boat. Kimberly Kennedy from Cromwell. Richard, a deer farmer. Breeds deer way down in the deep south, sells them all around the place. Stags, massive things. So, of course, those horns on those things, they pay a bloody fortune for, KV, so no wonder he can go jet sprinting.
Oh, yes, but camel towing.
I'm picking he'd need to tow a few of those deer out of the old woods after they get shot.
Yeah.
That's what we'll put camel towing down.
Well, I thought maybe put to rest, euthanised.
Yeah. Righto. Back on the gas.
Blunt, Shrek, Manel sitting right alongside me, ladies and gentlemen. But look, I love the way that Richard Curry's going about this. For a guy new to the sport, have a look at the way they're approaching this now. As they come back through this part of the track, there is a little bit of a pressure wave coming through here that will affect them slightly. We noticed a lot in the super boats coming through there. That wave feeding up through there caused them a few problems. Double bite at the corner there.
Yeah.
But Richard Curry there with a 52.603, they'll be happy with that.
You look at that line you talked about straight through the track here where you see the pressure waves, the good drivers will straight line it through there. So they will place and touch the edge of all 3 of those islands but get it in one straight run. So,
and that is coming back towards commentary, ladies and gentlemen. So if you've got friends and family who can't make it, get them to go to jetsprint.co.nz and push on the live link. We've got Richard Murray coming up into commentary, the man who's driving the blown Ford, the Mina machine. Mate, you had a few troubles with it leading up to the event. How many litres of methanol went through it on the dyno?
I think 500, Tim said, on the dyno, plus I don't know what we'll do today, but...
probably 100 today.
200 litre drum today. We'll probably go through most of that if we keep going the way we're going.
Mate, how does it feel?
Oh, it feels good. No, it feels good, real good.
Mate, I haven't seen a smile on your dial like that since the last time we were doing Sam Booker shots at the U-Park pub.
Yeah, that was just a fake smile back then. This one's real.
So you're loving it?
Yeah, awesome. I mean, first time in 3 years, so first one I thought, I'll just take it easy, but no, I'm quite happy with the way the boat is. Blew a bit of oil out through the breathers in that run, but you'd expect that with a harder run, so hopefully the team can keep that all under taps and I'll just do my job, they can do theirs and we'll be good.
Fantastic, mate. Thanks for coming up and having a chat to us. Have a fantastic
Good luck,
day,
keep it going, Rich. P1, keep it there, brother.
Craig Shaw out on the track at the moment. Paul Collier doing the navigational duties. The boat is out of limits, and Craig Shaw always goes about it very well. Ever since we're now into Q3, and he's just been not a lot of change, getting down on the times, but certainly the style It's just like he hasn't stepped away, hasn't had a break at all.
Absolutely, and a 33 flat for his split, which is really interesting. So good to see how he comes home here. He's worked, double bite out the back. He's got to work on that finish, but got away with that too. A little bit ugly through the line.
52.043, and that's one of the things, ladies and gentlemen. Never keep your eye off the track. Never take your eye off it, because even after the finish, while we're looking at the time, quite often there can be, the driver's shut down. Their brain just goes through the finish line, and then they forget they've got to navigate a couple of islands to slow it down.
It all happens within the blink of an eye. There's no doubt about that. I tell you what, we have seen running down here is Hoofit, the completely brand new machine, brought up all the way from Balclutha down the deep south, part of the Southern Squirters team again, but these guys were still putting the seats in. They got here, they'd only started this boat on the trailer, so who would drive it all that way? You'd back yourself to get all the way up here to Hastings and North Island, started on the trailer, and that's the first time it got wet was 2 qualifiers ago. So, I mean, it's been really good to watch. Carl Bresnell.
And you're saying there's a Bluetooth accelerator here. Explain that quickly.
Fly-by-wire, they call it. So it's a sort of the old cable type setup. These are electronic in a lot of these LS boats. So yeah, certainly a bit different. It sounded like they had a bit of an issue with that earlier, but it's not farting and banging like it was last time. It looked like he was trying to shoot ducks. There's that line I was talking about.
There is that line that is just phenomenal.
Good to see.
And it sounds a lot better. So they've obviously had a chat to the computer and said, listen, mate, you might be good at chess, but we will kick your backside in kickboxing.
Absolutely. There's a lot of wiring going on there. They've got a little bit of boat handling problems there on the tight turns. Being a brand new hull, sometimes that can cause that is actually, there's no, you bog the bottom of the hulls, and what you've got is too square. So it's grabbing water just when they turn. But these are all things they can work on in the pits during the day. But so far, so good for Carl.
It's interesting, this fly-by-wire stuff. The technology of that, surprisingly, Carl Brentsel across the line, they're in a 52.966. These fly-by-wire stuff, where the accelerator talks to the engine, is actually developed, believe it or not, through cycling. So the fly-by-wire, instead of on a bicycle, and so this comes through cycling through the Tour de France, and that is how they are changing the gears. Instead of the old wire, back in the push bike with you and me back in the day, actually I only had 2 gears in my bike, stop or downhill fast.
Yeah, no, mine was the same as a single-speed cruiser. Wasn't the flashiest looking. My brother actually had a chopper and he had a 3-speed. I was a bit gutted.
I had one of those ones that had suspension in it. Geez, I tell you what, they were a bit hard to get around the track.
Righto, Sam Gray.
Mike Allen, the voice of Carterton and the Wairarapa, so the fisherman and the deckhand. I can tell you, they've really been impressed at how these guys go. Good start to the lap, great line in this early part of the lap, keeping a very close eye on Sam Gray to how he's going to go about this in the MTW Group B. Round the PSP hairpin, he goes, he went a bit deep in the hairpin, then really had to get on the wheel to get out of that.
No, turned it into a light bulb. He just oversteered it round there, and that's what caught him up. Took it, the jet unit didn't fill up with water and just threw him up and out. Round to the split, let's see what we got. 33-1, so he's certainly a little, that hairpin cost him. We saw a 33 flat earlier.
Yeah, it is amazing, just that little moment with the boat up in the air and no momentum just costs so much valuable time. A little bit porpoisey around the left-hander heading to the line. And still came out of it okay with a 51.610 there for Sam Gray in the 9 Lives racing machine.
I don't think he'll be disappointed with that, KV. I think at the end of the day it was just one bit of steering area down the end. The rest of the track was pretty good. So,
and when you think about the amount of inputs you have to put in a steering to get a jet sprint boat around this course, and it's not just the lefts and rights, you've got to straighten it up. There's a lot of work goes on behind the wheel. So just that little moment, but those little moments are the ones that cost the valuable time that can cost championships, meetings, world championships indeed.
Okay, Battle of the Real Estate Companies is back. LJ Hookers versus the Professionals. So another Wairarapa team. Bryce Barron.
Kylie Barron doing the navigational duties. This is the Mike's Transport Warehouse Group B qualifying 3. Geez, mate, this is a very, very good start to the lap from Bryce Barron.
Bryce has got the bit between his teeth. He's charging down that hairpin nicely out of there. Kept the jet unit loaded up. See how he got out of there nice and smooth. That's the secret. Don't oversteer it. Don't turn it into a light bulb.
It's one of the things coming into this hairpin. If you get off the accelerator too hard, the water not coming out of the jet unit, fills the jet unit up, lifts the back of the boat, causes a thing called reversion. Really hard to get out of it.
All it does is eat time, and of course time is what we're actually chasing. You're chasing the time clock all day. This looks really, really good lap by here, Brian.
Oh, it's gone the wrong way. Bryce and Kylie Barron, they've gone the wrong way.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And they're not aware of it, or they are, or we'll see whether if he gets a stab. No, he's going back to try to correct it.
Going back to fix it. He knows he's done wrong. He actually
That's where we needed to go. Now he's back on the course proper.
Yeah.
Throw a lot of time at the clock, but they completed qualifying round number 3. The time is nothing to even worry about. He blew that time right out, but self-awareness to work out wrong rotation, the wrong direction at that speed. I just still don't understand it in my brain. My brain's not quick enough to pick it up.
It is, and that's where you heavily rely on your navigator to come through and bring you back in. I mean, look, the first half of that track, I thought they completed beautifully. Everything looked really good. The start, the hairpin, they nailed it, the lines. Unfortunately, they got to that split mark and then things started to fall apart. So, look, they'll be back. They'll work on it. The next real estate company off is the professionals. Chris Rasmussen, Holly, Taranaki team, up here, beautifully presented Sprint Tech. He's been a little bit just easing on the gas pedal last couple, running in a brand new engine. It'll be interesting to see. He's Qual 3. He needs to start putting a time down. He probably doesn't know what just happened to his main competitor there, Bryce.
And he won't be worried about it now that the
that sounds better.
Go. They won't be worried about what the competitor's doing. It'll be all eyes forward. Another, geez, not as good as Bryce through there, but certainly not wasting time coming through the flip-flops. Into the hairpin, the all-important PSP Building Brands hairpin, in and out quite nicely.
Yeah, keeping the old throttle on, water loaded up, all looking good. Still double taking a couple of the islands, but as the day goes on, he'll work on it. The split will be interesting. It'll tell us a story.
Yeah, very smooth lines coming down through the bottom part of the track into this right-hander. Now big sweep round the outside, line it up, straight line.
Boat's gone off.
Big back off.
I could hear it. He's got some major problems. Yeah, I think he's really... I could hear the boat go off and go down song, and that's definitely an engine issue. That's a brand new motor. He's got a... We might have to keep an eye. We don't have a little fire going on there with those guys.
Yeah,
we have got the marshals can't do it.
It's the magic smoke. Do you know, Leighton, that engines run on magic smoke, and when the magic smoke starts getting released, sometimes they don't go well.
Well, I think you probably need to play your smoke movie that you normally do.
I'll get down there with a couple of darts. We'll sort it out.
Okay, let's hope they get this sorted. That's disappointing because you could really hear the boat load up, which is not a good thing. It looks expensive.
Yeah, very. Just watching the boat just come in, and he's still under idle, but he's... Oh, look at that. There is all sorts going on. There's smoke. There's steam now.
She's Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah, there's no keeping an eye on there. We've got our safety and rescue crew down there, just keeping an eye on it, making sure that there's no fire. He's turned it off now, just easing it up onto the trailer. And well, I guess that there is going to be a lot of head scratching and a lot of work from the team to determine what's going on there. But we do see this. We do see these puffs of smoke come up, and all of a sudden it was just oil onto exhaust, or something's dropped an oil line. We've saved an engine, but we've got our rescue crew down there. They've got the heads in there. There's no fire, so that's very positive at least. And Chris Rasmussen, Holly Sutherland from Professionals Real Estate concerns.
Yeah, they will be, mate. I mean, the good news is they drove it back to the trailer, so you've got indicators on there. Those data systems will tell him whether he's got oil pressure running, loss of that.